What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. And this is also going to be another podcast episode. We don't really have designated segments, that we're going to be going through progressively, but the overall topic is going to be the Baltimore Ravens and the linebacker situation, most notably because the LA Rams ended up winning the Bobby Wagner sweepstakes. So we're going to be talking about losing out on Bobby Wagner, what the Ravens should do with the linebacker spot. Are they okay rocking out with Patrick Queen and, Malik Harrison and company, or should they go out into the draft? Should they go out into free agency? So guys, let us know your thoughts on the Bobby Wagner situation. Check out the podcast if you guys want to just listen to it, because I know unless you have like YouTube, YouTube Premium or whatever, you can't watch, videos while it's closed. But if you listen on Spotify, you get the same content, but you can, have your headphones in, doing whatever. But let us know what you guys are thinking. But I was shocked when I saw, the information that came out. Was I shocked that he went to the Rams? Absolutely not. But the numbers that I was hearing was Bobby Wagner's looking for a 1-year, $11 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, he hasn't really picked a team. So, and the Ravens apparently offered him a very competitive offer. And I was like, okay, maybe he chooses the Ravens because maybe they're offering a little more money. And then it comes out that he accepted a 5-year, upwards of $50 million deal. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is so much more than I was expecting. Because we had talked about it on live stream. How much money would you be willing to spend? And I said $14 million on maybe a 2-year deal. But on a 5-year I was really surprised by that. Now, am I saying that, totally fine losing out on Bobby? I wanted Bobby Wagner, guys. But I was shocked at how much he ended up going for. And it may be a good thing that the Ravens didn't pay that price. Now, if I wanted them to get a much shorter deal, because he is going to be a lot older, in 3, 4, 5 years. But, missing out on Bobby Wagner, it does hurt. He was the guy that Ravens fans wanted in this offseason. He was probably the biggest name. Him and Tyrann Mathieu were probably the biggest names. And we ended up getting, maybe an improvement over Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus Williams. So that was great. But at the linebacker spot, we ended up not getting the number one guy that we wanted. Joshua, what were your reactions, thoughts to this whole Bobby Wagner situation with the Rams?
I mean, honestly, I'm going to be real. This Bobby Wagner situation had me in a whole whirlwind of emotions. Because at one point, like, okay, Bobby Wagner, he's in Baltimore. What did we do? We did an impromptu live.
Oh, yeah.
People thought we was capping. Nah, man, why would we cap on that? Why would we make stories on that? We don't do that, Then, then you hear the competitive talks, that Baltimore is really making the push. And I thought that since he left LA, that, coming to Baltimore, he pretty much, I'm assuming that he was here for the whole weekend. I'm like, usually when we get guys here for the whole weekend, show them around town, pretty much, put all the bells and whistles on the bike, but they're ready to make Baltimore their home. So, to hear today how he negotiated his contract and how he waited and played the waiting game and had dues and suspicion, but Uncle Sherm, shout out to Richard Sherman, he was his spokesperson since last night. When he put out the tweet that Bobby Wagner, made a decision, or he gonna let y'all know the news tomorrow and everything like that. But it was funny because you saw Matthew Judon talk about, oh yeah, he coming to New England. Then next thing you know, one of the reporters say, I can confirm that he's not going to New England. So it's down to 2 teams. And honestly, he had to do what he had to do, what was best for him. He's from LA. His family's there. I mean, he gets to stay in the NFC conference. He gets to, I believe he's going to be able to play Seattle twice as well.
Yep.
So yes, he will. There could be a little bit of animosity there too. And on top of that, you're getting paired up with one of the best defensive tackles in the league right now, and also one of the best corners in the league as well. So now you got a superstar on all 3 levels. And I mean, what did they say during their parade? We can run it back. So right now, they're showing that they can make the push to really run it back. Right now, where we're at, we are rebuilding and retooling. So, the Bobby Wagner move would have definitely been another addition to Patrick Queen, Malik Harrison. I'm not going to take anything away from Patrick Queen because right now you have Ravens fans pretty much saying, LJ Ford had to save his bacon. Josh Bonds, he was the one with the IQ, and Patrick Queen had this range. He can just range around. But I tell you what, Patrick Queen just, maybe about an hour ago, he said, I don't know where y'all get this from. I guess if y'all slow the film down and put it in slow mo, y'all will see I played both positions all year long. And every play was communication from me, Josh, Leak, Christian, from one another to the defensive line. Please stop spreading info like I don't communicate. So, with that being said, I think Patrick Queen probably a little bit more happy this Bobby Wagner deal didn't go through. Because now y'all done made this young man a little bit more angry. And I like when a young man is angry, but also plays smart and plays very hostile. And honestly, I'm looking forward to this year 3. And if Pat, if you watch this episode, I'm looking forward to you commenting, baby. I'm looking forward to see Malik Harrison out there on that field as well. Because they were supposed to be lightning and thunder. So, with Mike McDonald back, you don't know what can really happen.
Yeah, and I think an even better way of saying it, not lightning and thunder, lightning and thumper. Get that Malik Harrison in there. But yeah, I do like the perspective of looking at it from Patrick Queen's side, right? When you're a young player and everyone is hyping, go get a veteran to be the main guy, you're going to get a little bit disappointed. Whether you're a young player, the Los Angeles Lakers, back when they had Lonzo Ball and they had Kyle Kuzma and they had all these guys, Brandon Ingram. All of a sudden, you start hearing, go get Anthony Davis. Go get Russell Westbrook. And you're like, whoa, what do you mean? Why are you getting rid of me? And then you start getting a little bit upset. And, that does hurt a young player. But now that he's the starting guy, we get a new defensive coordinator that's coming in, and he gets to say, hey, man, you were disrespected. Let's prove him wrong. Zachary Orr is coming in. Hey, PQ. Hey, Malik. These fans, they didn't know what's up. We're going to get you to that next level. And, the other thing that I want to say is when I saw what Richard Sherman tweeted, I knew that it was I considered making a video saying that Bobby Wagner is going to the Rams, but I felt like it wouldn't be enough and people wouldn't like that because it's not, 100% confirmed. But my reasoning is, one, Sherman and Bobby Wagner are obviously good friends, former teammates. Sherman was wronged by the Seattle Seahawks, went to the Niners because he wanted to play against the Seahawks for how they did him wrong. Richard Sherman went to Stanford University, Palo Alto, California, the Bay Area. Richard Sherman, however, is from Compton, Los Angeles, California. Bobby Wagner is from Los Angeles, California. Their former teammate and great friend, Marshawn Lynch, Compton, California. They have ties back to Los Angeles, and that's really big when you're looking at it from that perspective. Bobby Wagner, he wanted to go home, and he was probably texting his good friend, and Richard's probably like, oh man, I went to San Francisco. It was so much fun beating up on the Seahawks. Like, man, is that worth it? Like, oh yeah, you got to do that. You get to play for the Rams? Like, yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, you got to go there. Go back home, get to do what you want to do. And you're going to be part of a great defense, and you're going to be part of a great coaching staff, and you're going to have a chance to contend. The Ravens, however, they made it. I'm surprised still. Like, I think a lot of people are disappointed that they didn't get Bobby, and I'm disappointed that we didn't get Bobby Wagner. But the reports had come out that they gave an aggressive offer, a very competitive offer. That's similar. They may have given a better offer. I had read in some places that they offered a better offer than the Rams, but since, they offered more money, but the Rams, was it a better option for them because of location? That was the debate. The Ravens are being aggressive, and I love that. And that, I think, is not only going to transfer, with the linebacker position, but it's going to transfer with trades, and it's going to transfer with their philosophy in building the rest of this roster because they do still have some money. whether they want to use that money on a Calais Campbell or they want to use the money to make a trade for a guy, or sign a wide receiver like an Odell Beckham Jr. I'm not saying that's my suggestion, just saying they're options, because I feel like anytime I bring up a name, everyone starts going, whoa, 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 don't do that. I'm like, I'm just saying random options. I'm not saying which one's the best.
At least they're on the same page with us with Jadeveon. I mean,
yeah. Yes.
So we good with that one.
Oh yeah. And so when I'm looking at it, I see the aggressiveness in this offseason, and it's very unique to the Baltimore Ravens. Normally, it's like, oh, the Ravens were aggressive for B-tier players, right? They offered a competitive deal to Juju. And I'm not saying Juju was a bad offer. I liked that offer. However, there were bigger guys on the market. The Ravens went after the two biggest profile players on the market at their respective positions. Safety, Marcus Williams was the number one safety on the market.
Yep.
Bobby Wagner was the number one linebacker on the market, and the Ravens gave them very, very competitive offers. Marcus Williams becoming one of the highest paid safeties, in the history of football. Bobby Wagner then becoming a very, very pricey linebacker for the Rams. We didn't get him, but we offered that much money. I feel like this is hinting at the Ravens trying to go all in. I feel like it's absolutely trying to hint at them trying to go all in. And how do you do that when you're in the draft? You get top-end talent to make you contend. The best example, guys, that I can give for a team that changed their philosophy based in the draft, or they changed their, future in the draft, is the San Francisco 49ers, because their starting quarterback got injured one season. Mm-hmm. They fell in the draft, or they fell in the rankings. They didn't have a good season. They got a good draft pick. That's what happened to the Ravens this year. They were a playoff team, the year before. Their quarterback gets hurt. They start slipping. They get a much better draft pick. They can still get a better draft pick by trading up. But the San Francisco 49ers go into that draft. They're getting Jimmy Garoppolo back. And they go out there and they say, you know what? We want the best pass rusher in this draft class, and we're going to go with a man by the name of Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa comes out, was arguably he was a defensive player of the year candidate. He won defensive rookie of the year, but he absolutely dominated. He got them to the playoffs. He dominated Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. They got to the Super Bowl. And man, if you guys did not watch the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, Bosa set the record for most pressures by a defensive player in the Super Bowl history, I believe. Most pressures on a quarterback. He was after Mahomes all game long. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to take advantage of opportunities that your team has when, you got to make the best, out of lemons. You get lemons, you make lemonade, right? Gotcha. Lamar Jackson gets hurt. You got to make the best out of it. How do you make the best out of it? You get the best possible draft pick.
But
you can make those trades.
The funny thing is, another team that we have not really spoken on that I do not like speaking on has also been aggressive. And I think we got to give them their due respect. And that's another team in the AFC North. Cincinnati Bengals. What did they literally do? They went to go get Joey B, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in that year's draft. Next thing you know, he gets his running mate, Jamar Chase. I believe they also got another guy from LSU. I think was one of his offensive linemen. And how did they upgrade this offseason? They bring in Collins. And what Collins said in his presser, oh yeah, Joe, you got a new bodyguard. And honestly, if I'm Bobby Wagner, I'm 32 years old, I would stay in the NFC. Look at the AFC. The AFC is building. Almost every team that you think wasn't going to be a powerhouse or stacked up off the names, they're stacking. Miami is stacking. The Denver Broncos, they are stacking. I mean, Buccaneers, they brought back, Tom Brady and everything. But guess what? In the NFC, you still got the Rams, and then they just added Allen Robinson too, with a Cooper Cup. Not Jared Goff. I do apologize, y'all. Matthew Stafford is about to go back to his olden days where he used to just throw it up to Calvin Johnson and just pray and put up a prayer and winged it. So if I'm Bobby Wagner at 32 and I got an Aaron Donald in front of me, I ain't gotta work that hard. If I go to Baltimore, I gotta play against the Pitt. I gotta play against Steelers and Najee Harris twice. I gotta play against Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt twice. Hell, we got Miami back on the schedule this upcoming season. We gotta play against New England this upcoming season. We got Cincinnati. We also got Cincinnati this upcoming season. So I mean, twice. So if I'm Bobby Wagner, I say, listen, I'm 32. I'm on the back end of my career. I already got a Super Bowl ring as well. Ray Lewis, I do thank you for, coming down, talking to me. But listen here, brother. I grew up watching you. But I think, my acolytes are getting up to yours. So I'm good. I'm good. But my family here, Marshawn, Richard Sherman, listen, college life, you got the sun out just about all the time. Yeah, it may get a little windy. It may get a little windy tonight, but I ain't gonna see no snow. I'm gonna just throw a hoodie on. I can ride to Vegas every now and then if I want to. We can post up. So, Bobby, I ain't mad at you, good brother. I'm not mad at you. At the end of the day, I wish the best to you, but I'm gonna be real. If you do make it to the Super Bowl, just be ready. Healthy J.K. Dobbins, healthy Gus Edwards, healthy Lamar Jackson. We're gonna have to put you in the blender once or twice. I'm just saying, you are one of the best tacklers right now in the league, but we're gonna put you in the blender. We're gonna do what we gotta do. Our fullback that we just paid $15 million for 3 years. I feel like he's gonna put a big hit on you. I know you're gonna try to brace yourself, but that big man gonna put a big hit on you. So it's coming. It's coming out. I love the competition, so I love it.
Yeah, and now looking at it from Bobby Wagner's perspective, I think LA was probably the smart choice from him. The NFC is a lot easier. You have a lot more guarantees. You just lost Russell Wilson in that division. The Seattle Seahawks are going to be horrendous. So those are 2 free wins. It used to be the toughest division in football. Now it's probably not even in the top half. I fully believe the toughest division in football is the AFC North. I think it's better than the AFC West. I think the AFC North is heavily underrated because I know Ravens fans are going to get really mad at this. Guys, I think that Mitch Trubisky to the Steelers is the most underrated signing of this offseason. I thought that was absolutely incredible. I honestly think they are a contender in the NFL. I think Mitch Trubisky's heavily underrated or just clowned on, memed on, but the dude's actually a solid quarterback. Is he top 10? No, but he's definitely not horrible. He's definitely better than a Baker Mayfield. Then we have Deshaun Watson, on the Browns. We got Joe Burrow. Like the quarterback play is incredible. There's great defenses. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
The Rams, though, the Cardinals they're good. They are good, but they just haven't shown that next step yet. They're still struggling to get there.
They flop. They do what we do in the playoffs. They get to the playoffs, they flop. I mean, we can be real about it.
The birds crash, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Niners, I like what the Niners are doing. I really love the Niners, and hopefully I'm a huge fan of Trey Lance, so I really hope that he's able to take that step up. But it's still, a question mark that you could say at quarterback, even though I think he's going to be fantastic and a terrific player. But, it's a younger quarterback. It's a good situation to be in. And you also get to play with, in my opinion, the best football player of all time in Aaron Donald. I will say that every single time. There is not a better player in the history of the game. And then you also get Jalen Ramsey, who's the best cornerback in the NFL. And so it's like, bro, why would you not go there? Oh, and then it's not like you're on some, you look at the greatest defenses of all time, the 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. Those offenses sucked. Like, yeah, you had some good players. You had Walter Payton. But, the offense wasn't that good for the 85 Bears. We had, Mr. Jamal Lewis. Great season for him. But, come on. The offense wasn't amazing. You get to have, the reigning offensive player of the year in Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford. You get to have a great running game, and they're getting back Cam Akers. They got him at the end of last season. He looked really solid, except for when he started throwing the game against the Buccaneers in the playoffs. And you bring in Allen Robinson. You have so many weapons on offense, and you have an incredible defense. So for him, it makes sense. I'm not going to fault him for choosing the Rams. And he's getting a lot of money, and He knows that he's going to be able to be there for a while. So I think it's a great move for him. But for the Ravens, do they need to go out and get a guy? I don't think so. I am completely okay if the Ravens don't go out and get a linebacker in free agency. I think they should draft one. My favorite linebacker, if you guys don't know, Mr. Troy Anderson out of Montana State. But I feel like that's as early as we need to go, is like third round would be the earliest that I want to get a linebacker. You know, nothing against Devin Lloyd out of Utah, but linebacker, we got Patrick Quinn, we have Malik Harrison. Are they the best duo in the NFL? Not yet. So we got to wait a little bit, but we have, an excellent linebackers coach, an excellent former linebacker coming in to work with these guys. And let's get the core going and let's work on those fundamentals so that we can have that great, defense. And, I'm not going to say that we are better off for missing out on Bobby Wagner. It is unfortunate. However, there are positives with everything negative that happens in the NFL. You can bring up any negative and I can bring you a positive. You can even look at, never mind. I'm not going to go there. That would probably be people wouldn't like it if I went where I was thinking. But you look at the Baltimore Ravens, they don't get Bobby Wagner. Unfortunate. It's worse off. However, that means Patrick Quinn and Malik Harrison get more time on the field to develop, to become a great players. Good things happen. Lamar Jackson got hurt last year. It sucked. Bad things happen. However, now the Ravens are in a better draft position. The benefits come from negatives, guys. So, and maybe they take that draft position, turn it into a top 5 pick, take a guy by the name of Kayvon Thibodeau, win the Super Bowl.
Unfortunately, Tyler Huntley draft stock went up, but we can't. I don't think we can trade him because of his contract.
Yeah.
Oh man, honestly though, me personally, just to add another linebacker in that rotation, I would probably reach out to Quan Alexander. We get him on a cheap deal just for the simple fact, he's I won't say injury prone, but he has had his the season where he has suffered with injuries. I do believe edge rusher and secondary is still a high priority. Right now, we still only have 2 corners on the active roster. So right now, I guess I would be open to bringing back Amon Marshall, McConnell. I guess I got to go with your guy.
Amon Marshall! Yeah! When Amon Marshall makes it to his first Pro Bowl, y'all are going to remember the hype that I gave this man. All right? I started it with Josh Oliver, a.k.a. The Weapon.
He did.
I'm carrying it through with Amon Marshall. He's going to be covering Simi Fehoko in the Pro Bowl very soon, guys.
Man, that would be dope. But if we was to draft the linebacker, I'm going for I forget it. I butcher his name all the time. Muma out of Wyoming. What's the other young man?
Oh yeah, Chad Muma or whatever it is. Yeah.
And the young man out of Penn State. That's
yes, Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'm really not too pressed on drafting one of those guys high right now. we got other concerns. I know people are worried about center play. Honestly, I've accepted the fact that we're rocking with Patrick McCarry. I'm really okay with that. I would rather for us to get a swing tackle in this year's draft. Like maybe third round. It seems like this year
we got Juwan James.
Yeah, so like I said, third round, got to draft a tackle, and a wide receiver third round. Just saying. But it's just for the simple fact that John Harbaugh and company are taking an approach this year of not rushing these guys back. And I think, last season was a wake-up call, for all the injuries that we did have. So, like I said, be prepared for this upcoming season, maybe the first 4 games that we don't have JK, we don't have Gus, we don't have Ronnie Stanley, but we have some guys that's more than serviceable and also that's ready to step up and do their job.
And we have a guy by the name of Lamar Jackson.
Hey, at this point, I want to take something off my boy's shoulders. We put too much on him. He puts too much on himself. Like, honestly, you can't predict an injury. You can't always prevent an injury as well. But sometimes when you go out there and, as you call it, DTMing, doing too much, sometimes freak things happen. You know, let's go back to the Buffalo Bills game in the playoffs. Sometimes you can't escape from a hit in the way you land on turf. If anybody played football, y'all know turf landing on turf is a little harder than landing on grass.
Yeah, that is not a fun one.
You know, when linebackers running 4.2, 4.3, shout out to Owasu out of Cleveland. Sometimes you know you can't evade guys, and I mean he caught I'm about to call him LeBron. He caught Lamar while he was evading the pocket. You know, tripped him up, made him roll up on his ankle a little bit. So you know, at this point, I want us to have enough weapons, enough pieces that you know we can relieve something off these young man's shoulders. Because at this point, you know, I don't want him giving so much to this city, to this team, and we don't give back to him. He's been the starter for the past 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah, 3 years,
and
3.5.
And you know, between free agency and draft, you know, Ravens fan, TTB family, y'all can fuss with me. I feel like we didn't invest as much into him and building the offense as you know other teams has done with their franchise quarterbacks. Yes, I get it. We brought in Marquise. Guess what's already on the roster. I understand. You know, we traded for. Did we trade or picked up Mark Ingram in the free agency?
We signed him.
Okay.
We signed him in free agency. Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins, one of the best steals in the draft. I get that, but far as even giving the extension to Ronnie Stanley.
Yeah.
But y'all, you guys, we haven't built the offensive line like we should have.
Sometimes doing enough isn't, or sometimes doing something isn't enough.
That's what I'm saying. You know, and you know, family, y'all can argue me about it. I mean, y'all damn sure did, you know, when we talked about Jonathan Harbaugh. And honestly, you know, I love it. You know, I don't want y'all always agreeing with me. Norm McConnell. I mean, even me and him don't always agree.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree with him staying on the West Coast. I don't, you know, I feel like he should be getting some of this, you know, torrential downpour that we're getting over
you know
here on
what?
the East Coast.
You can call me Bobby Wagner, okay? I chose the West Coast. You know why? Hold on. This is going to look horrible, but, you know, people watching on the podcast, they're going to be really confused. Look at that. Look at that nice little sunshine. Oh, don't look at the dead plants. Oh, no. I'm exposing myself. Oh, well.
But, you know, that's just how I feel, you know. This upcoming year, players gotta be better all around, you know, for the offense and the defense. Because honestly, if we did make the Bobby Wagner signage, I felt like, you know, we was gonna have one of the best defenses and that mid-tier offense where we can make it to the Super Bowl like the Bengals did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gotta, I don't want to say get lucky, but at the same time, so many times teams get lucky in the sense that they put themselves in a situation to where the luck can even arise. So, you know, you got to be ready, but you got to have some favorable things go your way. You know, some catches, you know, you got to make some great catches that, you know, maybe a little bit of a luck catch. You know, you may have to have some favorable matchups where, you know, maybe, someone got suspended. They can't play that game. You know, those types of things, they build up. I'm a Braves fan, all right? The Braves were not the best team in the MLB last year. They got hot at the right time, and Eddie Rosario turned into the greatest baseball player of all time somehow. You know, and they beat Joshua's Dodgers. But, you know, you got to just, you know, get lucky and when you hit your stride. You know, it's so many things. It's not just being the best, because oftentimes the best doesn't win. The 73-9 Golden State Warriors didn't win the title. You know, they were probably the best team, but LeBron James had other ideas, right? You know, him and Kyrie Irving said, you know what? Nah. There's so many things that can happen when you're looking at championships. You know, were the LA Rams the best team in the NFL last year? Probably. But not every year is it like that, right? You know, Cam Newton, And the Panthers, they were the best team in the NFL that season. But the Denver Broncos, Von Miller came out and did his thing, and they were able to defeat Cam Newton. So, like getting lucky at when you get hot, it's not really luck. It's timing, which, is still like, it's not controllable sometimes. So that's why I'm kind of saying luck. But, overall, things got to go your way if you're trying to win the Super Bowl. And this Ravens roster is built in a way that if they start getting the ball rolling in the right direction, they absolutely can win a Super Bowl. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, from the upgrade to Rashad Bateman, who knows how things may plan out in this year's draft, or maybe even in the offseason. Who knows? Like, maybe we finally do get Julio. Who knows? Maybe we do make that trade for Devontae Parker. Who knows? I mean, right now, I don't know about McConnell, but I know about myself. I have accepted the fact that Gregory Roman is our offensive coordinator. I have accepted the fact that we will be a run-heavy offense. I have accepted the fact that, yes, we're going to have Jonathan Harbaugh here for another 3 years. And, we're going to see some more players, whether they're special or not, be put in the doghouse. I accepted the fact that there may not be, coaching personnel not reprimanded, but my players are being reprimanded. So I'm just saying. I've accepted the fact that we may go for 2-point conversions way more often in this upcoming season. Because family, y'all say we crazy. Y'all say we emotional for saying Jonathan is on the low tier, the top 10 head coaches. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying what y'all was saying. So I accepted the fact, but I'm gonna voice my opinion on it. I'm gonna shut up though. But best believe the next episode we drop, I'm gonna talk again.
All right, guys. I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. Just overall starting the conversation of Bobby Wagner, seeing where it ended up. That's kind of what the goal of today's recording was all about. So, if you guys want to, check out our content, check out the Twitter, check out the podcast platforms. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button down below for Daily Ravens content. We'll see all of you again next time.